Okay. Hello. So it's been a hot second since the last time you've seen, all of this. And that is because it wasn't in the last video. But I'm here now, so don't even worry about it. I'm here in front of you. I have like a little new angle here. I'm in my pajamas.
My head hurts, my feet stink, and I don't love jeans.
This is like a slumber party, like the two of us. So there's been a lot going on here in Jennaville, but lately I've been, words. Over the past few years and stuff, I've been trying to save as much money to the side to ensure that I had a very smooth transition into college. I don't want to work freshman year. I feel like everything I've been doing was so that I wouldn't have to work freshman year. So I'm not gonna work freshman year. Anyways, as of now, I'm feeling that bringing a turntable right away freshman year might be too much all at once. Kind of want to get a load of my surroundings and see if it's something that I feel safe enough bringing. I really don't want to bring it and then have it be broken. Mom was like, you know what, you have this extra money and you're not going to be able to listen to too many albums while you're there, so just have fun with some of that extra money. So I had fun. I did it. I had fun. This is how much fun I had. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, so this is another recent finds, really close to the last recent finds video I had. Alright, so the first one that I got was John Fahey, The Days Have Gone By, right? Yes, yep, that's the album. That's the name of the album. John Fahey, I don't know too much about him. I think he was born in DC. He's very much like Americana, primitive guitar work. Very, very good guitar. So this was the one that I kind of felt the most comfortable buying. I definitely want to get more into him and his career, but this is definitely the album that I recognize the most. Here's the label, and if I remember correctly, Tacoma. I believe this is his record label. I believe he kind of came up with that. Pretty sure. I'm telling you guys, I really know my stuff here. Alright, this next album is an album I've been waiting to buy for a very long time. This is just the first pressing that I saw that I was like, ooh! And it caught my eye, so I bought it, alright? So it's Robert Johnson, King of the Delta Blues Singers. If you know anything about early blues music, or just blues in general, you know who Robert Johnson is. And this, what's really appealing about this, what really pulled me in on this pressing, it's on orange vinyl, so that is really freaking cool. I never really found colored vinyl to be super appealing to me before, but I think I've finally been bit by the colored wax bug. So we're gonna see a little bit more colored vinyl probably in the future. But then again, it is a little bit more expensive, so you probably won't see it in the future. So while I was in Omaha, I happened to have bought all albums that were $4. They were all $4. I don't know how I did that. It's not like everything was priced $4. It's just that every album I picked up happened to be $4. So the first album that I got from that bulk was Mike McGear's album. And if you don't know who Mike McGear was, he was Paul McCartney's brother, but he changed his last name. He didn't want to seem like he was riding the coattails of his brother. But then again, if you look at all the freaking credits on this album, it's all McCartney. It's produced by his brother. I mean, I respect him changing his name and all, but if you're doing it so that way you're not riding the coattails of your brother, don't have your brother produce and write in your album, alright? It's all McCartney. It's all McCartney. I mean, look, this is a Wings album. This is a Wings album. You got Linda, Denny, Jimmy. It's Wings. Again, nothing against you, Mike. But you were riding his coattails a little bit, like a smidget, a little bit. It's a really good album. Here's the label on that, but I've actually been looking for this album for a while now. I've not seen it. Maybe it's just because I don't specifically look for Mike McGear, but my man Woody Guthrie. I love Woody Guthrie so so much. And I don't find any of his things. I have one other Woody Guthrie album. Alright, this next one is Beautiful People by Kenny Odell. This is an album that I actually bought kind of to listen to with my mom because it's such a cute, like, it's a really cheesy album, but it's so cute. Even like the title track, Beautiful People, is just such a cute album, but it puts a smile on my face. It's just so happy, so I had to get it, you know. For $4, I thought Kenny Odell, Beautiful People, there we go. This next one is the last of the $4 group, and it is Jethro Tull's Songs from the Wood. This album is one of my car jams. The flutes are all over the place, so of course I'm all about a good flute solo. And like we're all about that little back cover of the little record player with the rings of the tree. There's your label real quick. Alright, so this next pile are all albums that I bought with Roxanne. She's a very bad influence. I feel like if I have someone else with me that doesn't collect albums, I'm usually more like, I won't spend as much money. But then when you have someone else there that shares in the addiction, it's like two addicts with each other that like justify each other buying other things. So the first one that I got was The Mothers, Live at the Fillmore East. I would stream this album all the time. I already know all the songs on this, know the versions in which they sing these songs. It's always been in the bins and it just kept getting stuck in my head, and I was like, it's not gonna stop until I finally just buy the album. This was $12 for me, I think. And in terms of like Frank Zappa albums, and especially Mother's albums go, $12 is on the more reasonable side. I'll show you the label real quick. Boom. There you go. This album, let me pull it out. So this is Beauregard, I believe that's how it's pronounced. So he was a professional wrestler. He wrestled for the NWA, I believe, back in the day, and he also was a musician. Only came out with this album, I'm pretty sure, and it's a very, like, niche album. I had no clue what this was. I still barely know what this is today. Sort of how I got on this. So when I first went into the record store that had this, I'd always seen this album in there and it had been in there forever, like forever. And every single time I went through the B's, this was always in there and I was like, he looks like Andre the Giant. Like I was like, dude, what a cool freaking album cover. Like he's sporting the cowhide and the sideburns, the mutton chops with the fro, and just everything about this look. I was like, wow, you know, you've already won me over, all right? And then on the back, there's like a chopper. Do you see that? That's so crazy and like freaking cool. So I had no idea what this was. So I picked it up and they had like a little test section where you can listen to the album. And I listened to it and it was pretty freaking good. But I was like, I have no clue what this is and I don't want to be that buys this album that I have no clue what it is, and then like it's some guy's album that he's been looking for forever. So this may sound crazy, but I kind of started to form a bond with this album. Like I always knew this was like my consistent thing in life. Every single time I went to that record store, I knew that this album would be there and I would see it when I flipped past the B's. I remember the first time I took Roxanne to that record store, I was like, do you see this album? One day I'm gonna buy this album. The last time that we went to the record store there, she had also been keeping her eyes on this John Frusciante album, but it was $40. And she was like, oh, I'm not gonna spend $40 on a John Frusciante album. So it had been like maybe 4 or 5 visits where that album was still there for her. And she always knew it would be there, and I always knew this album would be here. So one day, she was just like, I'm gonna buy the album, but I'll only buy the album if you buy your album. This was only $7. I don't know why, I just never bought it. I know it's gonna be there, like for me to listen to it whenever I need to. But then when she bought hers, I like legally had to get mine. So here it is, it's here now. I guess I should show you the label too. Here's the label on that. If anyone knows anything like crazy on this dude, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. I love to like know more about him. So, all right. So this next one that I got, I forced my friend Roxanne to get his first album, and then I also got this album of his, and this is Mirror, right? Yep, Mirror. Emmett Rhodes. Emmett Rhodes, if you don't know too much about him, there's his picture. He, a very good singer-songwriter, known for sounding very similar to McCartney. So if you like the sound of McCartney, and even the songs, the style of the songs that he writes is very similar to McCartney. So that's obviously shows my appeal. I have his first debut album, but I wanted to get another one, and here's the label for that one. So these next albums that I have set up are from my most recent little road trip that I did with Roxanne. We went to Breckenridge, Colorado, not this past week, but the week before. And it was so fun because the weather was beautiful. Always music playing. There's music playing everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's music. There's kayaking, there's bike riding, or if you just brought a skateboard, you could skateboard. Roxanne bought her first skateboard and she started to learn how to skateboard, so that's awesome. It was just such a good time. We actually brought a little record player with us, that way we could listen to music there. You know, just to fulfill the need. On our way back, we hit Denver, Colorado just to go to one record store. So I went a little overboard. The first thing that I picked up was Billy Joel's River of Dreams. This is an album that I've been looking for forever. It was there, so I picked it up. So here's the little gatefold. There he is. All right, there's the back. I've been looking for this album for so long, and I finally have it. This is on red vinyl, so let me show you. There's that for ya, and there's that for ya. So, extremely happy with this album. I've basically got kind of a complete Billy Joel collection. Maybe I'll do like a collection on my Billy Joel, or a collection on my Billy Joel, a video on my Billy Joel collection, maybe, because I've got like all of them. So maybe that's something I do in the future, who knows. So this next one, I've been wanting this album for a while, but I had no intentions of actually buying it in Denver. The fact that I bought it means it was so cheap I couldn't say no, and I've been wanting it, and I feel like this is like the perfect price for me to buy it at, and it's Neutral Milk Hotel. And this album came out in '98, and it's very much like lo-fi indie sound to it. Actually kind of a, like, to me, a mysterious album. I don't know too much about the history behind it. I think they've only got like one other album, I believe, but this by far is the one that I'm most familiar with. So here's the label. But yeah, I'm excited about that. That was like something I was totally not expecting to get. So if you saw my last video, it was a Paul McCartney record collection video, and I had quite a few bootlegs in there. Almost every single one of those bootlegs I bought in various trips to Denver to Twist and Shout Records. They always have the best Paul McCartney bootleg section. So I got like a pricier bootleg and then the cheapest bootleg I could find just to like even it out. My expensive bootleg, and this was only 25 bucks. I say expensive bootleg, but it was only 25. So this is, sorry, I got rid of the paper. This is the original Wings from the Wings. This, my friends and peers, was the bootleg that made my favorite album the album that it was. So my favorite album is Wings Over America. Big shocker, I know. So if you don't know the history on this bootleg and like why I like love it so much, long story short, when they were making plans to, you know, start producing this live album, this bootleg came out, all right? And it was a 3 LP bootleg on blue, red, and green vinyl. So they were like, well, crap. Now we gotta make it a 3 LP set. So the whole reason we have as much amazing stuff on Wings Over America as we do today, it's because of a bootleg. You've got whoever made this bootleg to thank. Blue, the red, the green. Not too long ago, re-released Wings Over America on colored vinyl. And guess what colors he did it in? Blue, red, and green. So that was like my expensive bootleg. So then I got the cheapest bootleg, and this one was like $6 or $7. $7. And this is Paul McCartney Raving On. Alright, so here's like the little picture. It has 4 unreleased tracks from McCartney 2 plus 3 Buddy Holly songs. So basically they kind of separate it out just like that. So on the first side, you can definitely tell from listening to them that that whole side is definitely from McCartney 2. Definitely has those like kind of weird elements to it. And then the other side I do prefer, and it's him covering lots of Buddy Holly songs. So you've got Raining in My Heart, It's So Easy, Bo Diddley, it's all on the other side. I'm a sucker, alright? So I had to get it, alright? So, alright, and this next one is an official release, so Paul can settle on down. I feel like there is a difference between your favorite albums and then like albums that you play a lot. I feel like I don't necessarily play my favorite albums all the time. In fact, I feel like I play them less, so that way they're still like special when I play them. But in terms of like McCartney, always my go-to album to just casually spin if I'm spinning McCartney is Flowers in the Dirt. And so I have an original copy of Flowers in the Dirt, but I play it all the time. And something that I would always stream is the demos with Elvis Costello, which was like always my favorite thing. If you have listened to them, it's a lot of songs from some of the songs that were actually put on Flowers in the Dirt, and then like Playboy Into a Man, So Like Candy, I think as well, right? All stuff that was then released on Elvis Costello's Mighty Like a Rose album. But most of the songs did end up on whoever's album, but I just loved their demos so much. I think they complement each other so well when singing. So those demos I just loved, so I had to get it. And I listen to it all the time still. This is now my go-to copy of Flowers in the Dirt because it also has the demos. So that's everything. That's all the albums that I bought. I bought way too many, and it was probably, this is a really long video and I really apologize so much. So, you know, stay trippy all you hippies.